Hi everybody, I thought I'd take you along on this journey of decorating my tree. I'm going to drop along some hints as I go along, like this one here, where instead of the usual taking my branches and just sticking them out and bending them up, I've bent them down. It's something I saw on another DIY here on YouTube. And of course, spreading out the branches. Instead of just spreading them out, flattening them out to make them look like a starfish on the end. This is a great way to save space, especially if you're like me and you live in a tiny little apartment. And it just makes the tree a little slender without having to pay the high price of buying skinny trees at some of the other department stores. And you see here how I bent that down. And they bend really easily. And you can see as I went along this is what I mean about the starfish on the end. And it really makes the tree look really full. And then it came time to add the last row on, and then I added the top before I opened the last row of branches. And then as you can see here, after I opened them up, I had really long branches on the top, and it was just playing with them. You can bend them over, make them however you want, fluffing them out. You know, do whatever you want to make your tree look the way you want it, to be able to hold whatever you want to put at the top. As you go, you can adjust branches, move things out of the way, and be able to sneak colored lights down inside, and kind of give the tree inside ambience if you want. Sometimes I do. I really wasn't into decorating a whole lot this year. I actually wasn't going to put a tree up, but I did at the last minute. This is all the lights I'm going to use this year, is just my bubble lights and one string of blinking bells. Now, if it was really that easy to decorate a tree, I'd be a millionaire, because I'd decorate everybody's tree for them and charge them lots of money. Not really, haha. I can't remember if it's Ace Hardware or True Value Hardware that carries the bubble lights, but they do have a cool down time where they cool down so that they don't get too overheated. They still do get quite warm, but not like they used to. And you can also buy replacement lights for these. They come in strings of 7. And I love bubble lights. This is 2 strings, and they do plug in end to end. Now it's time to put on the balls. These are actual vintage balls that I replaced my mother's with, that I've picked up here and there at yard sales and thrift stores over the years, to replace my mom's that I lost. Some of these are identical to the ones that I grew up with. One thing I do with my tree is I keep my bigger decorations on the bottom, just because it does look a little more even. I do have a few favorites that I put on my tree, like my owl and my squirrel, and my peacock, and a few things like that, and my handmade barbed wire hearts. But for the most part, it's all vintage decorations. And I do use a wide white ribbon that I hide my green wires with. I can't hide them all, but I do cover up them for the most part. That violin is very neat. It does play music, and you can also put it on a mode where you can use the little bow and play it yourself. Somewhere I have a little cardinal that is motion activated. I need to find that and put it on my tree. The musical bell lights that are on my tree is actually over 20 years old. I've had that string that long. It just goes to show these days the lights just aren't made the same. And of course, no tree is proper without, in my lifetime, an angel. This angel is a recreation of the angel that my great-grandmother made, and it was always on her tree. Then she made a new one and gave that one to my mother, who in turn gave it to me. And then when I left a bad situation, it was never given back to me. So I went by pictures that I had, and I recreated it with a vintage doll just like the one that was on the angel that was my mother's. So there is one more thing that I did add to my tree that you'll see in a little bit is a DIY craft that I did. And then I'm also going to show you what else I did here in a second. The only other decoration I'll put up is the Santa and Snowman and the Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Okay, so there's the one of my dad, my mom and dad. There's the other one. Like I said, I gotta go get my mom, get her picture done. Thought I had a picture of her that I could use without having to go. And this is it, my mom's actual angel. But I recreated the angel that was my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother's, she was my mom's grandma, made one, and it was passed on to my mom, and then my mom gave it to me, and then it was never given back to me. So, when I left a bad situation. So I recreated one with the same exact style doll. Just from a picture. So, anyways, there it is. I actually was able to go to thrift stores and yard sales and get vintage, and these are actually old vintage Christmas balls. So, the bubble lights aren't old. They are fairly new. I think I've had them for 4 or 5 years now. So, there you go. Cute little DIY. And you don't have to use feathers. You can put whatever you want around the balls, the shape you want. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.